Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of your OGR, baby, as the Edmonton Oilers walk into Game 47 as we beat the Los Angeles Kings 5-2, as this game was definitely a bit of a battle for the Edmonton Oilers, to say the least, and I loved this battle by the Oilers. We did honestly a great job. This was a back and forth game, and a game where I thought at moments of times we were going to slip and not perform and not do very well. And then we just started chipping back and started fighting back into the game and started playing really well. This team is just really impressive with Jay Woodcroft as the head coach of this team. It really is. The team has been working their asses off, playing really good. Jay Woodcroft benched Devin Shore. He only played 2 minutes and 57 seconds, which I gotta say that right off the get-go because that is amazing that he's seen 2 minutes of Devin Shore and was like, yeah, this guy's a bum. Get him out of the lineup. But before we get into everything with this game, I'd like to just say if you are new to the channel, make sure to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. That'll be very much appreciated, boys. So let's get into this puppy here with the Oilers and talk about everything that happened. There's a lots of good things to kind of go over and talk about with this team. First of all, really impressive team. I think there was only two forwards that didn't have a point throughout the entire game. It was great 5-on-5 time. Our power play is still struggling, but our PK has still been stellar, and I think that's a big bonus right now is that our PK has been doing really well. We just haven't been able to find that magic once again on our power play as our power play just continues to struggle in these games. Also, the refs were, I don't know what they were on last night because they definitely made some weird calls throughout the night, like the one unsportsmanlike conduct on both McDavid and Moreau. Really weird call, even though they weren't really having a scrum. They were just beaking at each other. I don't know, maybe the ref heard them say something or whatever and decided to kick them both in the box, but really weird call. I'm not too big of a fan of it, but it's getting the goal scoring and everything like that. So the very first goal of the game was by Arthur Kiliev, and we didn't start off too bad against the Kings. They were definitely battling back, and Kiliev got the first goal of the game. Now, this one was all on Smith, to be completely honest with you. The puck got sent around. Smith decided to go out of his net. He couldn't stop it, so he went back in his net, and then for some reason, with his glove hand, he tried to, like, stop it with his glove instead of using his pad to make the fucking save and being an idiot. He decided to try to cover it, even though it's Kiliev who's shooting it. It flied right through, Mike Smith's glove because he was trying to just stop it with his glove, and it went right into the back of the net to start off the game, which was not phenomenal. But I do give it to Smith because Smith was phenomenal for the rest of the game. He really was. He was making some big saves. He was looking a little clunky in that first period, but, once we started to settle in, he started making the big saves that we needed him to make, especially in that third period where he only allowed the one goal, and he was massive throughout the entire third period. And in the second period, I didn't think the Oilers did too bad. We were generating a little bit of momentum, especially near the end of the period, where Connor McJesus gets a big goal, got his 25th goal of the season. As this one was almost a little bit of a controversial play. Not really. It definitely was in goaltender interference. But McDavid dashed on in. Nice save by Peterson on the first one. And then he pulled it back somehow, or like it kind of like bobbled right towards him. Pugliarvi was right in front of the net. He got nailed into Peterson, and McDavid had an easy tap in. Now, if you're a hockey player out there, ladies and gentlemen, and you're a defenseman, do not hit the opponent into your goaltender. I don't know how many times people have to say that, but my fuck, it is the dumbest thing to do. You're only putting your team in harm, and you're only putting your goalie at risk of getting injured by throwing some other big body into your goalie. It's dumb. You don't need to do that. Just try to keep the guy out of the net. And if he goes into the net, that's on him. That means it will be goaltender interference. But if you hit him into the goaltender, it will be goaltender, or it won't be goaltender interference, and it'll be a good goal, like in this case by Connor McDavid, who scored his 25th goal of the season to tie the game up. Heading into the third period, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins continues to pepper goals away as he got his 7th goal of the season. This was a beautiful play, battle up alongside of the boards. Derek Ryan has been phenomenal throughout these past few games since Jay Woodcroft has been a coach. He's gone, a point against San Jose, point against LA. He's really starting to produce for the team, and he's really starting to look good, and he's playing in the spots that he should be playing, and he's playing a decent amount of ice time too. But a really nice pass by Fogle to set up, or it wasn't really a pass by Fogle. Fogle was trying to tuck it in, And then, of course, Peterson made the nice poke. Nuge picked it up and rifled it right in the back of the net to give us our first lead of the game into the third period. And then Deneau, well, he ties it right back up there with his 13th goal of the season. Beautiful pass by Arvidsson. Caught Smith off guard. Smith was looking behind the net. Didn't check the other side. Didn't notice that Arvidsson passed it out. He didn't even notice. And Deneau got it on his stick and ran to the back of the net. And then Yamamoto did the exact same thing, getting his 9th goal of the season by a beautiful setup pass by Leon Draisaitl, and Yamamoto buried that one. And then we got back the lead, and then we just shut it down. We kept playing really good. We kept playing with a high pace. Zach Hyman got his 15th goal of the season with an empty netter. Nice pass by McDavid. And then Evander Kane getting his 3rd goal of the season as well. Empty netter as well. To finish off the game 5-2 in a game where I did not think it was going to end up being this way. I thought it was going to be a very tight finish. But it ended up being 5-2. Now, yes, 2 empty netters, but it was a good finish by the Edmonton Oilers and a great way to battle. We were battling hard against this team. We didn't have a lot of space to move around, but we were still able to find avenues to produce and get some goals, which, you know, usually when we had Tippett, we were never able to figure out how to score those types of goals. So it was really nice to see that we were able to chip and grind and get this W that we definitely wanted, especially since, you know, this is a big one. We tied back up with the LA Kings for 3rd place in the Pacific Division. This was a big win for us. We wanted to finish this off in regulation without a doubt. That's something big we wanted to do. And now we're 3rd place in the Pacific Division, which is massive for us. Like I said, all we need to do is go on a 5-game winning streak, and we're back in this. And we already are. 3 games in with Woodcroft, and we're already back in a decent playoff spot. We, you know, need some improvement. Our defense is mix and matchy sometimes. Like, you know, LA Kings were able to walk all over our defense, especially on the goal by Deneau. We weren't able to play very well defensively. They were just skating around us. We weren't able to hold up against anybody up against the boards like Perlo was talking about. We weren't able to do a whole lot, and they kind of just walked around us, got a good opportunity, and put it in the back of the net. That's something that we still need to work on. We've worked on the fact that we could stop the rush pretty good and, you know, stop people from getting in our own zone and break it out a little bit better, but we're still struggling to break it out of our own zone, and that's something that, you know, still needs to be touched on up on a little bit, is when we do break it out of the zone. And of course our power play. But it's amazing that we're actually able to score, you know, 5 goals on even strength. 2 were empty netters, but 3 goals on even strength when, you know, this was never imaginable. Usually we were only able to ever score on our power play. So seeing this type of action from the Edmonton Oilers right now is really, really amazing. So let's get on to the rest of the stuff. Now, this game was even without a doubt throughout the entire game. I thought the Edmonton Oilers, without a doubt, deserved to win the game near the end of the game. They played a better 3rd period. But the LA Kings, they were up there. They were playing really good throughout the entire night as well. Both teams were definitely battling with each other. So we'll get into the lineups and everything like that. So we'll talk about Foegele, Nuge, and Ryan first. I am loving this line. I don't know what it has been. I don't know if it's just Foegele really loving Woodcroft's system, and same with Derek Ryan, but they are just playing phenomenal. They really are. They have been playing really good with us, playing really well defensively. Offensively, they're doing amazing. They got a big goal for them. And then Hyman, McDavid, Puljujärvi, all those guys have been playing amazing as well. Puljujärvi has just been really crashed in the net, generating some good opportunities. He got an assist on the night, and he's just been producing as well since we got the new head coach in as well. An assist, you know, the other night, a goal against the Islanders. Puljujärvi's really been doing good and shooting the puck a lot more too. You know, the games against Vegas and Chicago, he was barely having any shots, and now these past few games, he's having 5 to 3 shots per game, so that's a really positive sign from Puljujärvi. And not just that, he's getting more ice time as well. And then Kane, Draisaitl, Yamamoto, they're not a bad line, but once again, Kane hasn't been looking phenomenal. He didn't look too great throughout the entire game. It wasn't too bad of a play on the first goal that they did get. They did actually do really well. I don't know if it's just that they need to find that chemistry or something, that they need to just find where they need to be, especially Kane. It looks like he just hasn't found that place just yet, especially playing with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, probably 2 of the best players Evander Kane has ever played alongside of. So it's definitely a little bit of an adjustment for Kane. And plus, he hasn't really played. He's not in game shape just yet. This is only what, his 8th game now in the season. He still needs some time to adjust into the league, and I think it'll still take another 10, 15 games before he's really at the game pace of being a really good player for the Edmonton Oilers. Nurse and Barry, once again, they're an alright parent, but they're not phenomenal defensively. You know, they're alright, but definitely not amazing. Legason and CC, they weren't too bad, but definitely weren't phenomenal throughout the night. They definitely didn't get very many offensive opportunities. CC wasn't phenomenal defensively. They were stuck in their own zone a lot of the time. So definitely not a great night for those two guys. Broberg and Bouchard, I thought, had an amazing night. I thought they looked really good. And then also Nemeline and Bouchard, I really like that pairing too. Nemeline is just such a defensive defenseman that I've been a real big fan of Nemeline over these past few games. He's just been posting up really good stats. He's been looking really good, really impressive. McLeod also didn't have a bad night. He had some opportunities, didn't look too great. Well, he did not saying that he didn't look too great. He just wasn't showing up very much on the sheet. He still had a decent amount of minutes, looked pretty good on the PK, played a lot of time on the PK, and was looking pretty good out there. And then Devin Short, well, he got benched for 3 minutes, and Jay Woodcroft did not like what he saw for him. And I really don't like what I see from Devin Short either. He hits when he doesn't need to, and even if he does hit, it's like this little cream up alongside of the boards where it's just like, he just lightly shoves them. So I can see why Jay Woodcroft doesn't like Devin Shore. Well, that's just about it. Another great game. Mike Smith was stellar near the end of the game, so that's definitely what we needed. Apparently, Stuart Skinner got sent down, so we're back up with Smith and Koskinen, and hopefully those two guys will continue to be good as Koskinen came off the COVID protocol list, and I hope that those two guys will be good for us this year because we really need Smith from last year, and we haven't so far gotten it. It is because, you know, he hasn't had a lot of games this year, but even then, I hope that he does bounce back and really is the goalie that we need him to be because we definitely need one right now. We need a goalie to step up massive for us, especially if we want to make that big push for the first place in the Pacific Division or even a little bit of a playoff run for the Edmonton Oilers as well. But for right now, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys all in the next live stream, as I'll be live streaming on Thursday for the Anaheim Ducks versus the Edmonton Oilers. I think it's at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so make sure to check out that stream. It should be a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys all later. Adios, amigos.